Hey, good morning everybody. This is Larry at Heisenberg Forest Products, and this is our weekly live video. I'm a little early this morning because we have some plans for later on today. So we're gonna go spend a day on the on Trout Lake with some friends. So looks like a perfect day for that. So what happened this past week? Well, got rid of my wasps. You should have seen the size of that nest in that intake pipe. So the pipe is about 8 inches in size, and there's a bend there, and that's where the nest was, right in that bend. So I took apart the pipe from inside in our cold storage, and I ended up vacuuming that nest out. It was massive. There were maybe a couple wasps left in there. And I also ended up killing my vacuum because I left it running for a long time the week before, trying to get rid of those wasps just using a vacuum. So I burnt the motor out, so I'm gonna have to buy a new one. So I guess that's the price you pay for getting rid of a nest. As we walk by here, you can see I got the kids to take out the corn yesterday. They did a really good job. And we're looking at probably taking this garden out next year. So there's too much competition from the trees, and there's roots in there. So we're just gonna flatten this out. I might end up moving this little greenhouse here from here to there. I don't know. We'll think about it. I like where it is now, but it could clear a bit of space here for us to use this area for whatever. So let's walk into the wood yard. Let's walk into my office here. So I made some notes this morning prior to coming out here. I'm hoping I didn't clean the lens, but the video looks okay. Yeah, forgot to clean my lens. So what did we do? Well, Louise bagged some kindling this week. And we sold a few bags, so she's busy with doing canning. So she finished canning her green beans, I think, and she did some tomato sauce, and now she's doing some pickles. So she's been busy with all that stuff. She comes out and helps me stack whenever she can, so that's great. It's a big help. So I moved the processor, so you can see just past the truck there. The processor has been moved I moved it about, I don't know, 25 feet. So it's closer to the wood pile. So as we walk here, you'll see that the wood pile is a lot smaller. Now, the pile of wood right here is, I bought some wood this week. I bought another 3 tiers of wood. So there's 6 tiers of wood in this pile here. So that's next year's work, and it's beautiful stuff and all nicely piled. So the guy that does the work is great. So yeah, so look at this wood here. So compared to last week, there's a lot less wood left over. I'm hoping if things go well this week, I'll be good to finish this off. I hope, and if things go really well, I might even be able to get some of that birch done. So yeah, there's not that much wood left. If I was to guess, I'd say about 8 to 10 face cords. So I can probably do that in 3 days, and then I'll be at this back pile here. But before I start on that, I want to get the birch done. So things are progressing well, and the weather's been fantastic. Again today, like the sun's out and you can feel the heat. It's great. So it was a week of breakage. I broke a bearing. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Monday. So I'll show you. Not this one here. This one I broke a few years back. You can see the casing here on top. See how that broke? Well, those seem to be the part that breaks first on those bearings. So I was able just to put this one back, and it seems to be holding. I broke this one by hitting it with my loader, but the other one here is on the conveyor, the log conveyor here. You see that chain? All of a sudden, the sprocket at the bottom fell off, and I'm thinking, what the heck happened there? So you see right here? I don't know. I'll have to switch hands. Just give me a second. We'll get in there. So here's the chain. The bottom sprocket came off. So I thought, okay, it was just loose, and I never noticed that the bearing here. You see where there's a washer? Well, it's broken just like the other one. So that part was on top. So my neighbor came over and gave me kind of a hand on taking this apart, and we flipped the bearing around and we put it back in. It seems to be holding. Problem is the chain is a little off center. So my plan is to change that bearing. Might as well change that bearing. And recenter the chain. So I'm gonna get my buddy Steve to give me a hand with that at some point. See here too, I broke that last year. A piece of wood hit the motor and broke the casing. So I have to look into getting a new motor. You can see there's a lot of sawdust sticking here. It's because I'm using this hydraulic oil that I bought from this guy last year, and it's a lot thicker. So it's a bit of a problem. So I'm trying to mix it with two different kinds of hydraulic oil. One that's a little what's the word? A little lighter, a little not as thick, so thinner, I guess. The other thing that's broken is this. So this is broken here too. So I need to get a new bracket made. So I'm gonna have to take this apart, and get a new bracket built to hold this. I'm looking for words here. Whatever this is called, to hold it on there properly. So I've got some work to do on the processor, but I'm pushing it back because right now I really want to focus on producing wood. So so I didn't mention this yet, but the wood's starting to move. You'll see in a minute that we've moved some wood. So I finished this block here. So I had a couple cords that I needed to do. So I did that. I think it was last Monday. So this is all done, and with the heat of this sun, it's gonna dry. It's great. And then if you'll see here, Louise and I have done quite a bit of work. So started another block here, hoping to continue working on this week. I think there's room for about 12 more face cords of wood right here. So that will bring that block even with this block, and then I'm out of space. So I've got some thinking to do. I could probably build another block at this end here, or at the south end of the lot. So we'll see how that goes. So let's walk to this is my own personal pile. So I've added, I think, 3 or 4 new logs to this. They're too big, so anytime a log is too big to fit on the processor, I just chop it off and bring it here. So I do have a bit of work to do, not only if they're too big, but if they're too crooked. So see, look at this. So that would be a pain on the processor, not worth my time. Even look at this one. It's almost a nest. So I'm gonna do this manually, and I was thinking I might I'm hearing something there. There might be a little mouse in there. Anyways, I'm gonna work on this probably this winter. There's no rush, and this is my own personal stash here, so it's starting to build. I'm thinking I'll get anywhere from 3 to 4 face cords with what I have right now. This was a leftover that I moved here. And here I had this beautiful piece of red pine. It smells very nice when you process that wood. So I took that out of the because it was part of the hardwood, so I didn't want that as part of what we're selling. So I'm going to resplit all of those uh, and, uh, uh, and use it for my own personal stuff. So my guess is I've got about 5 face cords here. So I started cutting the other day, or about a month ago. But I decided let's hold off with this stuff. I'll do it this winter or early winter before we have like 10 feet of snow. What else did I do? Oh, I cleaned up. I cleaned up the lot on Monday. So this is where the processor was. You see that little pile right there? So that was like where the processor was located. And so I cleaned all of that up when I moved the processor. I also cleaned a little bit over there, and I cleaned beside the wood pile. But when we got another load, we have a bit of a mess to clean again. So I might do that this week. We'll see how things go. Um, oh yeah, I don't know if you remember last week I was talking about this customer that picked up a quarter cord. Told me he was coming back the next day. So I was talking about this wood right here. You see how it's a little darker? Well, a guy showed up yesterday to pick up his quarter cord. I said, "Oh man, sorry, bud, it's under some wood now." So he ended up buying a quarter cord of birch. So, anyways, I hope he left happy. It's just like it's funny how, this was in the way. I had to move it, and I had about 2.5 cords or face cords of wood right where the dump trailer is. I had to move that out of the way in order to be able to start stacking that way. So instead of pulling the trailer out this way, which is a little tight, I have a bit more space on the other side, so I started from here and I'm moving down that way. So the next, this is all sold. So it's stuff that's going to be going out to some customers. So for now, I'm just leaving it there. I'm going to be reaching out to some of them to try to get some of that wood moving. I had one of the customers that had paid ahead of time pick up his wood, so a lot less birch now on the lot. Actually, we're out of birch because that customer who wanted a quarter cord, I ended up just selling him. I had half a cord left here, so there's about a quarter cord left here. So I'm going to keep that for me. For now, I'll move it into place over there where the logs are. So here I've got 2 face cords of birch left, but it's sold. So all the birch that I had here, we ended up moving that because that customer that had bought ahead of time picked it up. And he also had 3 face cords of maple, so he picked that up also. I ended up selling, I think it was 3 face cords of poplar to this one guy, so we're down to only 2 face cords of poplar at this point. So I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, so I was talking about breaking things. So I broke that bearing on the processor on Monday, if I remember right, and then on Friday I broke my website. So you're probably wondering, how the heck did you break your website? Well, that website has an inventory page on it, and that page is tied to a Google sheet. And in there, that's where I put the percentage of wood that I have left uh, on the property available, right? The wood available. So what happened is I kind of got smart and put in a decimal point. So let's say I said, oh, okay, I have 2.5%, let's say, poplar left. Well, that decimal place caused the program to crash. But what was weird was I thought it was the server that had crashed because they did a maintenance upgrade on that day. So I was sure it was the server. Never thought about me putting in a decimal point. So I contacted my son who lives in Ireland, and he says, "Oh yeah, it's probably the server. It was a server upgrade. Maybe there's a little switch somewhere that we need to flip on." So he reached out to one of his teachers at Canada, and God, I'm hoping to meet that guy one day just because I want to buy him a coffee. He's been great in helping us out, keeping that website up and going. So whoever you are, thank you for helping out. Anyways, he figured out that it was the Google Sheet causing the issue, and sure enough, we just changed the decimal number back to an integer, and boom, website's back up and running. So that's great news. Because at this time of year, I've got many customers looking at the website to keep track of our stock. So right here, we moved some maple here this week, and then some more on the other side actually yesterday. So you can see my block is not full anymore. I've lost a bit of wood there, but that's a good thing, right? I've also done a bit of work over there. I don't know if you remember, I had a little bump there. So in there I had some shavings, and unfortunately the shavings, there's water that ended up on those bags. So I ended up not throwing them out, but I moved some of those shavings into my dump area to create a flatter surface area. So I moved that out of the way, and this week I'm hoping to start moving some of the birch bark out of there. So we're clearing. So all I want there is my wood. So that's what we're going to keep there for now. And I also started cleaning up the south end. So I had some shavings there and some birch bark. So I moved that to the east end of the lot. So that's all done. So what's left here is shavings. I haven't checked if rain got to it, but if it has, I'm just gonna dump out those bags into this area, and I'm able to keep the bags for the most part, so there's no waste. It's just a bit of my time was wasted. Not wasted. We're learning here. Oh, little wind this morning, and you're probably hearing a quad or a side-by-side too. So. Also, if you look at the leaves, this is so nice. You know, compared to last week, a lot more red. So these are all, excuse me, maples. And at the end of our lot, past the Tacoma there, you can see it's slowly starting to turn yellow. We had one frost for sure, if not two, this week. So you can see that the leaves are changing colors. The days are a lot shorter, so by 8 it's pitch dark. So there's a few days I worked till 8, and actually I brought a little lantern to finish off the work one night. So that's going. The work is going well, and as I watch these videos, I always watch the week's previous video just to tie everything together. I realize we've done quite a bit of work this week, and it looks nice. I mowed my lawn, so I'm mowing lawn a little bit. I do maybe an hour or two a week. So I ended up mowing all this area here yesterday. So that looks nice this morning. So I'm just going over some of my notes here so I don't forget anything. Anyways, just to review what we have on our lot, let's start with right here. I've got some birch bark, so bags of birch bark. We sell those at $5 a bag, so if you're interested in birch bark, and you don't need many bags. You know, I think I used maybe 5 last year, and I start my fire regularly. Some people started, you know, once a week, once a season even. So I start mine every couple days because it ends up going out on us. And under these tarps here, I've got some shavings. So we're well stocked in shavings. And so shavings I sell at $7 a bag, or 10 bags for $60. I've got some campfire wood here. So our campfire wood contain 1.7 cubic feet of material, and we sell those at $10 each, or 11 for $100. So like you can see, I don't know how many bags we have, but we have lots. So if you need that, if you want to do, you know, a nice fall I know I've said it, it's fall. Fall campfire. These bags are perfect, especially if you don't have a truck or if you do only a few fires. A bag will almost last you for one campfire, maybe one and a half. So I had a few campfires this fall or these past few weeks, and I've used. I think I brought 10 bags over. I still have 4 or 5 left. So um, they're nice and dry, and it's easy to store. So and doesn't take much room. So if you have a small garage or a small shed, you can always throw those bags in there and use them as you need them. Excuse me. So I'm down to 2 species of wood on our lot. So I've got some poplar that we sell at $130 a face cord. I'm down to 2 face cords. So we measure our wood by face cord, and for us, a face cord is the cubic volume of 43 cubic feet. And the way that we get that is we pile our wood at 8 feet long by 4 feet high. The two ends here are 4 by 4, so 8 by 4, and then our pieces of wood are for the most part 16 inches. We give you the end cuts here, but for the most part, most of our wood is between 15 and 17 inches, and that's how we measure. So right here, this is our maple. So we're selling our maple at $160 a face cord. So that's what I have for wood right now. So out of birch for now. We'll see how things go. I might have some more later this fall when I get to the back of the pile there. So we'll see how that goes. So right now no birch, but I still have a bit of poplar left, and we're well stocked in maple, and I'm going to be continuing on the maple this week, so I should be okay for a bit anyways. So I think I'm almost done with this week's video. I'm going to end just by quickly talking about, oh yeah, one more thing before I forget. So this week Louise and I are going on a road trip, so I might go live for the road trip. We'll see. And we're going somewhere to buy a new tool for the woodyard. So I'll talk about that next week. And in next week's video, I'll share with you the experience in buying our new tool. So to end up this week's live video, just want to talk quickly about this video here. So I usually record this, well, I always record this video on our Facebook page called Heisenberg Forest Products. So I go live on Facebook because Facebook lets me go live without having any subscribers. Then what I do is I download the video to my computer and then upload it to my YouTube channel called Breaking Wood 68. So if you look for Breaking Wood 68, you'll see all of our videos. I think this is video number 18, if I remember right. So, and then the last 4 videos are always brought into our web page, onto our video web page. So on the video web page at our website, breakingwood.com, I have the last 4 videos, and our website also contains like frequently asked questions and also the stock that we have on our lot. So you'll see, if you look, you'll see. I'm thinking I might even just take that dial for birch off. I'm gonna try something, see if that works. My son seems to think it'll work, so that's great. So I'm gonna end like I always do, but with a pan of the woodyard. So just enjoy this nice scenery here. For some people, this might look like a lot of work. For me, this keeps my sanity, keeps me in shape, gets me the vitamin D that I need. Look at that beautiful red there. So I call this my new office. So it's a beautiful space, and I'm so grateful for this experience. So I'm signing off with, as I always do, ciao, and have a great week.